Now then, welcome back to another episode of Utopia³ using the Resurrection mod pack from the Feed the Beast launcher. And my little room of all the Essentia has now become a room of all the Essentia. Yes, I've got just about everything I can think of, everything I can fathom. The thing that I'm doing is putting void jars for everything, which is the right thing. Therefore, if I start running low on anything, I can throw a load of stuff into this chest here. It'll hopper into the alchemical furnace, and then it will get smelted down into its various parts, and the golem will go and throw it in all of the jars. And if the jar's already full for something, it will throw it in anyway because it's a void jar. Yes, I think that works. It seems to be working anyway. Just building up the stockpile here. It's been working fine. I've also got the charcoal automated into the bottom of the furnace. Underneath there, I've got the charcoal chest and a transfer node, just transferring charcoal into the bottom. And I put a hopper here because I was throwing all sorts of random things in here. When I was testing things out and finding what was what and scanning things, I would just come along and do the first one. He would set up the jars for me, and then I would put the labels on and put them in the right places and all that kind of stuff, and then throw the rest of the stock that I brought with me in there, so we just started filling them all up. But I think I've got everything. It's a little bit cramped and too tight for me in here at the minute, though. I don't like it. But it does go with what I was planning next, which was something along these areas. And also a mirror. A mirror to transfer Essentia from this area back here up to the infusion altar. So we're going to do something like that today. Now, trading with the villagers last episode gave me a load of these mana beans. Mana beans. Now, I've never really done mana beans before. Let's take one of those, one of those, one of those, and one of those, and one of those. Let's take one of each of the mana beans that I've got in there. Mana beans only grow in or on silverwood. Yeah, I was very lucky here. I planted my two saplings, my two silverwood saplings. These silverwoods that I planted a while back became very structured and nice looking and equally proportioned, so I kept them instead of hacking them all down. So I had to go in search of some more leaves. When I planted my first one, I ended up getting another sapling back, and then the second sapling grew, and then I realised that I was only going to get one sapling at most, so I went down and chopped a few more trees down and ended up with two nicely spaced ones with a spare. However, neither of these had aura nodes in them. This one, fortunately for me, has an aura node. It's an Ordo Aqua Air aura node. And it doesn't really matter what it is in there or how much it's worth to me. It's worth a lot more just being a silverwood tree with a node in the centre, because that is making all of this around here turn into magical forest. As you can see, the biome type magical forest. So I'm going to end up with a chunk here that's a magical biome. Let's see, with the chunk border. So yeah, in actual fact, because it's on the boundary of a couple of chunks, it may stretch out a little bit and spread out a little bit, I think, maybe. I think it's spreading up here, actually. So it might be a radius around the tree itself. I don't know. I'll have to work on figuring that one out over time. It's only just recently grown, so it's only just starting to take shape. And they take ages to grow. They take ages to grow from a sapling. Unless you use a hoe of growth, I believe, but I haven't made myself a hoe of growth yet. I could do, maybe I will do in an episode very soon, maybe I will do this episode, who knows. But this one just grew naturally. I planted them both ages ago, and luckily for me, it's turning the area into a magical biome, which is awesome. So this little area here is going to remain a magical biome forever and ever. And the thing about these mana beans is that you can't attach them to anything unless it's a silverwood log in this biome, in this magical biome, and you have to attach it to the underside of a log like that. So what I'm intending on doing is to start off with building up a stock is just going to have to be like this and throw some mana beans on it and let the mana beans grow basically bit by bit, slowly but surely. Let the mana beans grow. I have another idea for a little bit more automation for it, maybe. I just don't know if it's going to work yet, but I'm going to find out sooner or later. Sooner rather than later, I hope. And now there's one round here that I planted, well, maybe 20 minutes ago, and it still hasn't grown yet. So these are going to take a long time to grow, these mana beans. Even though I'm in the right biome, on the right wood, they're still going to take ages to grow. So I'm expecting that my first yield won't be for an episode or so yet. Same with that growing up, might be an episode or so yet. I might have to do a hoe of growth fairly soon just to see if I can speed up the growth of mana beans. I doubt I can use bone meal. Let's just double check bone meal while we go over here. I'm trying to work things out in the village to have an area that is chunk loaded without taking the mick of everybody else on the server and having all of my base loaded because it's massive. I'm just going with a world anchor, a simple little thing. Nope, bone meal definitely doesn't work, and bone meal I don't think, no, definitely doesn't work on there either. Okay, so bone meal is a definitely no. I didn't think it would, but a hoe of growth on the other hand definitely turns those into full trees. But I don't know about mana beans, whether right-clicking with a hoe of growth will do that. We'll see. But Thorncraft-wise, I'll get back to that in a minute. Let me show you what we've been doing down here, just for a couple of minutes. And then I'll get a few things prepared so that we can make our mirrors and get those set up with a few of the bits and pieces. Okay, so downstairs in the Applied Energistics area. Okay, this is the Applied Energistics area as you know it. Yeah? I have carved out. Now I've carved out based around this world anchor. A world anchor that's basically every ender pearl gives us 12 hours loaded on the server, which is awesome. And it's fairly inexpensive. And I prefer these type of things to other chunk loaders on the server. A couple of gold plates, which can be made in the alloy smelter with a plate mould. A couple of obsidian, a couple of diamonds, and an ender pearl gets you a world anchor. It's not too difficult to make, even in GregTech. And it then gives us a cost to keep chunks loaded, which I like as well. Because if a player on the server is here for a long time, then they will keep their ender pearls stocked up in their world anchor, and those chunks will get loaded while they're playing. And as soon as they stop playing, or take a week off or something, their ender pearls will run out, and that means that the chunks will stop being loaded. If they're not here, then there's no point in the chunks being loaded. And every Minecraft server and every season of Utopia, we always get a few players that set up a base, get started, and then just don't really feel like it after a couple of months or something, and finish up and leave and never come back. And if their bases are chunk loaded with the chicken chunks, for instance, then we end up with problems down the line where I've got to then go around and find their chunk loaders and turn them off to allow the server players, the people who are still playing on the server, a little bit more of the server memory to play around with. Because, yeah, chunks loaded in bases that are abandoned can cause all sorts of problems with item build-ups and pipes getting stuck and clogged and all sorts of things. Even if it's just a hopper that gets overloaded, anything like that can just cause problems on a server. So what I've done, right, let me explain. This is one chunk, and if we show you the borders again with the F9, you'll see that the white blocks are within this chunk. The chunk boundaries are exactly lined up, and I spent a while today digging it all out and lining it all up so that I've got a visual representation without having to use the F9 all the time. And so this is the center point of my chunk loaded village. One of these world anchors does a 3x3 area, so it's basically every chunk off from the center point. is chunk loaded. Yeah. So if we look on the map and have a zoom in, you'll see that this is the center chunk here. And if you think of it just like a crafting grid, a 3x3, all of this area here, the buildings around us now, are going to be chunk loaded off that one world anchor. And everything outside of that, which currently isn't really developed, there's only this farm over here. And there's the Thorncraft Temple church thing as well. Not a lot else outside of this little 3x3 is even built yet, let alone needs to be chunk loaded. So I've come up with the master plan that I'm going to keep just this 3x3 chunk loaded, and that's where my automation's going to be. I'm not going to do heavy automation, I'm not going to do lots of things. I just want to make sure that things like my charcoal farm, this farm over here, this is a farm that is basically just making apple oak, and when it gets chopped down, which I've taken all the bits off now, we turned it into charcoal, and that became my charcoal chest. And that then feeds other machines around the base from the ender chest technology. Yeah? This second farm that I've started building over here is outside of the chunk loaded area. So I'm going to use this tree farm to only breed trees and other wood types, and it'll only be functioning when I'm online and around loading the chunks. Whereas the charcoal farm, I want to be loaded all the time. So this chunk over in this corner is the wood producer for the charcoal farm. Yeah. Over here, this mob farm that me and Ego set up a little while ago, or Ego set up and I stood and watched, laughing. It's going to only really function when I'm here. And I've got a spawner that he made and a grinder that he made, all linked up and hooked up correctly so that I can start spawning mobs when I'm around the area, and even when I'm offline they'll carry on spawning. Also, just in here, literally just 3 or 4 blocks down that tunnel there, this becomes chunk loaded. So the farm itself is not chunk loaded, it's outside of the chunk borders, so the breeding will stop. The harvesting of the crops and the breeding of the animals will stop when I'm not here, when the chunks aren't loaded by me. But the animals that come down here and start growing up into adults to get killed, that will continue when I'm offline. That will continue because it's in the chunk loader. So this little section will carry on working all the time, and that basically means that I haven't got all these entities just sitting there, and I'm not going to have chunks unloaded and loaded and all that kind of stuff. So over this side we're going to have the mob farms, and that for killing the mobs. Over in this section we've always had the ore processing. This is the ore processing room with the washers that I showed you. My water bucket production and water tank. So I've got a water chest and a water tank for getting water anywhere I need it on any of the projects. And on this side we've got the power being produced by the lava power. So this is also going to be chunk loaded to give me lava power where I want. And one of these, this one here, or is it the one up there? The one up there, here we go, is Doris, which is powering the ender quarry in the deep dark. The ender quarry will keep itself loaded, but it needs power, so this power supply will remain loaded as well. Also, my applied energistic system, which is one of the things, like this is the far corner, and this is the applied energistic system here. The applied energistic system will remain loaded, and I'm going to now make the conscious decision to restrict my applied energistic system within the village to being on these loaded chunks only. Because as soon as you have an AE system crossing from one loaded chunk to an unloaded chunk, you get breakdown in communication, you get problems with the applied energistic system, and things that you would have set up for automation and the like, they break very quickly. Break very quickly indeed. Right, well that is the tour. Now I'm going to go and get some stuff ready, and I'll be back with you in a mo. Alrighty, well I've got a few bits and pieces together. What I want to do to start us off, right? And I've got plenty of other plans as well, but this one will start us off. You see these that Nicholas set up for us, like in the first week, really, to give us supplies of all of these items. Yeah? And he's got a little auto farm system set up down there below this house. Well, as I'm upgrading the village and all that kind of stuff, this is going to be removed. So I've decided to move these production into the Thorncraft area. Now, these particular items themselves in the barrels can stay over here in the system, and if we need some more, then we can always set it up some more. But we don't use it that often, so it's kind of, it was useful to start off with, but now it's not so much. Now, if you've forgotten how it works, it is simply a terrain smasher on a pumpkin, a melon, a sugarcane, hops. Was it hops? No, it's flax. That was it. Yay, did it. Flax and cactus. So as soon as they grow one space up, the terrain smasher breaks them. And that's what it does. Now, I want to take these terrain smashers and the cactus. Get out of the way. I want to take these terrain smashers and repurpose them to do exactly the same thing, pretty much. What's this? There's stuff in them already? Did they fire up into the chest? Okay. So look, no. There it is. Okay, and we'll take the cactus as well. And this one did it, and this one did it. Yes, it did. There we go. Oh, my word. And that one's got a bit of melon in it. Okay, so these things down here, I'm going to clean all this up later. I'm going to clean it all up later. But I'm repurposing, at the moment, into the Thorncraft area. And downstairs, there's other automation as well, which rely on machines and things like that as well. But this particular plan is going to be... Hi, dude. Look, you live down here. Why don't you move out the doorway? This particular plan I'm going to set up just over here. So I've got some dirt, some water. I've got the terrain smashers now. I've got all of these different types of materials that we're going to be growing. Cactuses give us those Essentia. That sugarcane and cactus share the herba and water, whereas one does pediccio and one does air. This gives me bestia and panas, and this gives me famas, and this gives me meto, something like that. Yep. So these two share two prime, well, the herba and the aqua. So this is going to give me loads of aqua production, and so on and so on and so on. Right. I'm going to quickly set this up again over here. Alright, so this may not work. It may not. I don't know. I've transferred the void jars from in this room to clear a bit of space so I can move these around a bit more for preparation. But round here we have all of the Essentia that I think I'm making in roughly the fashion that the farm should make it. Now, in all the time, this sugarcane's grown. The cactus can't because there's a pipe here, but when it does grow, it'll auto-break. There should be no reason why it won't auto-break, and then this will suck it up. The hops should break with that. The pumpkin should break. The melon hasn't grown, as far as I know, unless it's already in here. I don't know. But let's give it a go. Right, so we want to put... these and these on my hotbar. I've put the pipe here with charcoal, which isn't connected yet because I don't want it to start straight away. Oh, melon grow. Ha! Melon grow. Awesome. So the melon does work. So if I turn this on, yeah, disable ignore, and then give it an inventory pop. Yes, it breaks the melon and it puts the melon in there. Awesome. Okay. So then I put an alembic on the top, and it's going to be facing so it's got the side out. If I do it with the front out, it doesn't connect to the pipe. So now the only place melons will go is into that jar there, in theory. And every time a melon grows, it will do that. And the melon growing doesn't really matter whether it goes into the void jar or not. It's not really wasting any resources. Blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah. Pumpkins, let's do the same with pumpkins. Pumpkin goes in there. Yeah, let's put those pumpkins in there as well while I'm at it. And the alembic goes there. and that should have connected up to that jar, that jar. Why isn't that connected? Oh, it has. It just took a little while to update. Okay, and I was careful not to have those two pipes connect, so that's good. Alright, and then we get onto the more difficult ones. The hops and that, let's turn that off. It smashes, and then we put it on there, and it will try and send string, which we'll put that in. It'll also try and send the flax seeds, but flax seeds don't have any value, so I don't know if it's going to burn off or not. But I do have a space here on the side. I can put a side on to trash any of the seeds if I don't want to. Okay, put that on the top there, like that. Okay, now the string was giving me these two, so I'm going to put one tube coming from there to there, and I need to pop that quickly to stop that from joining up. Now that should go straight into there, and the other one goes in there, and I'll stop that going there, and that going there, and that should put those two Essentias in there as it can. In theory, yes. Yes. Okay. In theory, this is all a theory at the minute. I don't know for sure that this is going to actually work. But I will run it for a little while and test it for you guys to see. Okay, this one, redstone enabled, and put that there. Now, if there's anything going to go in there, it will. I'll put a cactus in there for now. If this doesn't work like this, then I can move it back a little bit and translocate items into it. That's another way, just to give the cactus lots of space. But I think the cactus will work. If we just show this, look, if we throw a cactus down there, it would go into there and then go into there. In theory, unless the other ones catch it first, that should be okay. But I can test that out every now and again. It's only this arbor stuff, which I've got four extras there, so I shouldn't really have to worry about it too much. And that should link into that one there, which goes across to these two. Let's see. Let's just check this again. This does Herba, Aqua, and Pedicia. So there's this one, which I need to connect there. There we go. And that doesn't connect to the other one because that's the front face. So that connects around to here. So any of that will go into there. And then these two come into here, which is Aqua and Thingy. Aqua and Arbor, yeah. So I don't know about this connection here. I'm hoping that it will go to whichever jar it needs to and clear the pipes. That's the theory behind it anyway. I'm hoping that's going to work. I again will tell you if it doesn't, so I'll let you know. And that did have the redstone disabled. Yes, it did. Okay. And yeah, there we go. This one, redstone disabled. That'll take the sugarcane out, which will take sugarcane into there. Yes. And the sugarcane is everything and air. So we've got to go to these two pipes and air. Oh my days. If this works, it'll be a miracle. And then I'll pop that there. That brings it to these two jars, which hopefully, like I say, this connection isn't going to be a problem. And I also want to connect it to that jar, which means I just pop that to stop those linking together. Okay, so in theory, in my theory anyway, this should work slowly but surely. I'm probably going to replace the stuff in the walls at the back because it looks a bit ugly down this side. But for now, it's just that's work in progress stuff. I'll fix it all up and make it look nice later once I've tested it for a little while and watched it run for a little while. So now then, we can give this some charcoal and they should start coming into life. Like this one has. Yes, that one has. Good. That one's smelting up those, and that is going to be bringing out Herba, and Herba's going to be going where? Herba's going to be going to the right place. There's 5 in there at the minute. Come on, you go over here. That's a void thing. Do it. It's gone. It's gone. 5 still in there. Come on, figure out a way to get to this over here. No? No? Maybe not then. Maybe the pipes don't work the way they used to. I may have to reconsider some of this. But if I have to separate them out so that they don't share and have 3 sides leading over to 3 of these, then I can do that. I can also have a jar on the other side behind them to try and get rid of something if I need to. But in theory, that was supposed to work. If I get rid of all that, then it should start leaking out the next thing, which is going straight into Aqua. Okay, so it is that connection there that doesn't seem to be working. So if I close that off, I can have Herbert and Pedicio coming from those, and behind there I can set another one for Aqua that voids Aqua off, and on this one it can be Air and Aqua, and on the back side of it I can void off Herbert. Yeah, I think that'll work. That sounds like it's going to work a lot better, doesn't it, than trying to do that. Yeah, it's all emptied out properly there now. These guys, they've smelted all of their things. This one's smelting all of it, and it's done. Yeah, this one smelted all of it, and it's done. And this one hasn't received any charcoal yet. Why you troll me? Why you troll me? Why you troll me like that? This pick's nearly had it. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It's just not yet. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, it's now got some. There we go. And it's putting the stuff into here. Okay, so in theory, we've got it working. I've just got to add another couple of jars on the back end of those to take away excess stock of the things that crossed over, these 2 crossovers, which is fine. Now that's automatically going to keep filling these jars up for me. Right. Now, onto the magic mirror. 3 iron there, and then we've got the mirrors, which I will put in the center. I'll try. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it went. Okay. And then we give it a tap with our wand. Any wand, I suppose, will do. I don't know. Let's see. This wand will kick it. Okay, so we've got... Currently, it's taking the Essentia it needs. Yes, it's taken all the Essentia it needs. That's good. And it's done that. And now it should start taking the parts. It's got iron, 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 and finally the ender pearl. Oh yeah. And now we have a magic mirror. Awesome. Give me that. Okay, let's do that again quickly and have another one. Let's put that on there. One on there again. One on there again. And one on there again. And away we go. Come on, let's do the other one. Pop. Get another magic mirror on the go, on the go. Oh, yes. I love how this thing looks. It looks like it's crazy badass. I love this Thorncraft mechanics. The graphics for Thorncraft are amazing, aren't they? Really done a really good job on them. Okay, yeah, we've lost everything, yeah. Getting the iron in there, and yes. Okay, so we've got 2 magic mirrors. Awesome. Now, try and figure out how they work together. Okay, so can I place a block on top of that? Yes, I can. Okay. Can I place another one? Yeah. Can I put like 2 on? Get rid of these ones. I don't know how you hang a magic mirror. I'm expecting you have to hang it on something, so that's why I put the block there. So I'll put the first magic mirror there. There we go. Yeah. Can I take this off now? Can I remove a block and it doesn't fall? No, it pops off. Okay. Well, that's okay. I will use dirt for now, folks. Cobble, dirt. I'll use dirt for now because I can break it with my hand. 1, 2, 3. I don't think it said any sort of why or when you have to like put it away from the infusion altar. So I'm hoping that it'll all work close to the infusion altar. Okay, so we'll put that there, and then downstairs we will put one over here somewhere. Let's put it slap bang in the middle there. And hopefully that'll extend the range of it all from in that room to here. So it'll suck from these here and the ones that I put on this side as well. Hopefully, in theory, oh yes. Now, I'm going to quickly find a really cheap, easy infusion that I want to do in order to test it. Alright, look, the second tree grew. Look, and it staggered itself nicely as well. It staggered itself awesomely. So that's a keeper, And it grew with a node inside as well, which means that this whole area is turning nice and green in magical biome style. Awesome. And mana beans have grown. Check it. There we go. We've got mana beans growing. Awesome. Okay. Well, anyway. Dude, give me your trade. Not you. Other one then. That's it. You. Give me this. Give me a night ore. It's a lot cheaper to do night ore that way. I am setting things up. I've placed that on an amber block now. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Oh, wait a minute. Where am I going? Let's see. I need to do this, I think. Right? And what? Hold on. The idea behind this, right, is lamp of growth. Okay, arcane lamp uses herba essence, essentia, and one of those things pumps out herba, and I'm going to be voiding it off. So instead of voiding it off, I can use it to make a lamp of growth to grow the things behind there faster. Yeah, that's an idea, isn't it? So I'm going to need to make one of these arcane lamps. Block of amber, those things either side. Yeah, okay. So 2 iron, the block of amber, and that, and that. Okay, let's see if I can remember this recipe in the crafting table. That, and that, and give me a little wand action, and take an arcane lamp. Awesome. Okay, and then the next one is the arcane lamp with 2 gold, 2 bone meal, and 2 earth shards. Okay, I needed to make a little bit more life, Essentia, so I threw a load of pork chops in there. And you might be able to hear that he's doing that. I've also made sure that I've moved the herba so that it can only be gotten by the mirror. So now we're going to try and do the lamp of growth. And let's see. It's taking the herba, but it's not taking it from here. Where's it taking the herba from? Uh-oh. Things are breaking. That was one of the shards. I've got a spare. Let's put a shard on there. Well, it's got all this Essentia, but I didn't see the mirror working. Dang. Okay, I didn't see the mirror working. So I don't know if that's worked full on or not. It's taking the gold. Oh, I spat the gold out. Spat its dummy out on the gold and took a shard out. There you go. Take all that. What a mess. It's done it, but what a mess. And it didn't actually show that we were using the mirror. So after all that, it didn't quite work according to plan for my little test. But that is all I've got time for this episode, folks. Thank you very much for watching. That's down to 45, and these are all still full. That's 45, so it must have been drawing from there. Maybe it's in range, and I just don't know it. Yeah. Well, I can't show you anything more from this magic mirror point of view until I can figure out how it works myself. And if anything goes wrong with this lot, I will let you know a fix. But I think it's pretty cool. I like it. And hopefully it will do me a lot of favours in the future when I'm making stuff. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next episode of Utopia³ the Resurrection.